Yo, 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 what up? What up? Welcome to Thinkers Anonymous, or welcome back. You here with your boy, that's me, EIG, and I'm just so thankful that you're spending your time to vibe with me today. I want to thank you if you've listened before, if you subscribed, anything that's going toward the show. I really appreciate you. It's an awesome feeling to know that what you do is heard and that it helps somebody, because that's why I do it. I hope that what I do can help somebody. So, your time, as I always let you know, is precious, and I'm so appreciative of it. You could be doing anything, but you are here, so I won't waste it. I want to get right to it. But sidebar, before we get into it, just real quick, this is off subject, but you should take time to be grateful that you're alive. I know that sounds real, cliche or corny even at times for some people, but when you truly take that time and can truly become grateful for living, the feeling that you get, that feeling that comes over you, I'm not talking about just, I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm glad I am. No, when you truly think on that and when you truly meditate on that just you existing right now and you're grateful for that, that's medicine for you, I promise you. It's working on things that you don't even know. So, hey, be grateful. Try that. If we could do that daily, oh man, it could really set the tone for your day, because, gratitude is the medicine for everything. So just wanted to drop that off. All right. So let's get to business though. We're going to get right to it. Today's episode is called Escaping Depression. Escaping depression. And, that's everywhere. We all, either know someone or we ourselves are dealing with it. But depression is real, and it's a real thing. It's something that's common, but it's a heavy issue. I mean, nowadays we're having to take medications even for, we want to be able to keep our mental health in check. And so I want to always say that, hey, I'm never one to say, oh, you shouldn't, take medication if needed, because if needed, please do so. Therapy, if needed, please do so. I always encourage that. Therapy is a great tool, but it's a real thing. And when people are dealing with it, it's, oh man, from either side that you have to deal with it, it's not good. Whether you're the one that is depressed or you're the person that's having to be around or deal with someone directly that is depressed, it's not a good feeling. And there are different frequencies, I'd like to call them, of just how depression works. There are some that, you're depressed sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad. It's not just all the time. And there are some that, hey, it's always, maybe it's every day, and just maybe throughout hours, maybe you'll find a moment to be okay. But depression is a real thing. Some of us consciously know what we're depressed about, right? Like something could have happened and we know that much. But there are those who unconsciously, are depressed about, well, they don't know what about, or don't remember what about. Depression is serious, y'all. I mean, just think about it. How many of the self-help podcasts, how many books, how many therapists, this is a common thing. And no matter how you or how I may feel about someone who is experiencing it, only they know that true feeling. And so this is to the people that have to deal with maybe someone who is depressed. Maybe you are a husband or a wife, a friend, cousin, sibling, coworker. But if you're having to deal with somebody, remember this, remember to give grace. And I say that not meaning to give them the keys to the city and let them run over you or take advantage, but patience and love. Because it's a serious thing. And also to those who are, on the other end of the stick, the one who is depressed. One thing that you can do is remember to be accountable. Remember to be accountable, because in these moments, even though you are dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with, you know how you are. You know how you can respond. You know how you can treat some close people to you, some loved ones, albeit maybe justified in your mind from whatever happened or whatever is going on. You still know. And I think being accountable is the best tool that you can use, because you give that person who does have to deal with that, who does have to deal with, hey, the mood swings, who does have to deal with, maybe it's rage, maybe it's silence. But if that someone is a close loved one that has to be in your life, you should give grace as well, and being accountable for, taking accountability for the actions. Because not taking accountability for those actions is resistance. Resistance when you've got people who are maybe trying to help, or maybe just encourage you, or, that are just having to deal with you, in resisting, they can take a position, and it can become a whole big fight, a bigger thing than not just what you're dealing with, but now you're having to deal with an issue with somebody who's got an issue with maybe how you're treating them or how you are. And I know, it's definitely prevalent in those in relationships, romantic relationships. Those, that other person may start to feel not wanted anymore, unappreciated. They may start to let their mind play tricks on them, start, not trusting you. There's so many things that can go into this, but it's good for us all to remember the other person. If you've got to deal with somebody, remember them and take accountability for the actions that we do. If they've had to deal with you for years and years, and sometimes maybe they need some grace. Maybe it's rough on them. Because just as someone who is depressed is dealing with something, those that have to deal with you through it, who are choosing to stick with you through it and not choosing to alienate you or, retaliate, give some grace. Depression itself is an internal thing, right? It's going on the inside, but it manifests itself so many ways physically. And what they deem it or call it clinical depression. And what they said, the definition of that is, or they said clinical depression is known to cause medically unexplained physical aches, headaches, and stomach problems, because emotional and physical pain share similar nervous system pathways. Wow. So much of your body can be affected. Your health can be affected by depression. Something internally affecting you in your body. It's also said that depression is the leading cause of disability in the U.S. from ages 15 to 44. And it's amazing to see that teenagers dealing with depression before they even receive responsibility for taking care of themselves, having to deal with depression, having to deal with their mind, their emotions. Depression is real, and we all want out. We all need out. And to get out, we've got to, let's just put it this way. First, we've got to know that the reason that depression is there is because there's a deep-rooted belief system. There's a belief system that we have about life, about ourselves, about other people, that's got to be uprooted. It's got to be uprooted and replaced with a new one. What runs deep in your mind? The deep-rooted issues, those things that we think we're okay, that we've moved on about, we think we're at peace, we think we've accepted, but they lie dormant, affecting us really in ways that we don't even notice. There's a scripture that says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." That's one of my favorites. I love it. But the renewing of your mind doesn't just mean, hey, I have a new outlook on life and my path forward from here, but also a new view on the things that happened to me. New definitions for the pains that I endured in the past. Because a lot of times we don't realize that we're carrying the baggage that we are. We don't realize that we're putting on a persona, not really even knowing, in response to a belief about a pain that runs deep, or that affected us early in life, maybe childhood, maybe not even that far back. But a renewed mind takes, meaning that the things that happen have to have new definitions. I have to give new definitions to the things that I feel bad about, the things that are negative in my mind. And for those that experience it in spurts where it's, I'm depressed sometimes and sometimes I'm not. And that's for most of us. Sometimes we all can have those moments where we're okay and we're enjoying life, right? We can do everyday things, watch movies, work, kids, family, and then there's some moments where it's back. Where it comes right back. The thing with that, I think we fail to see, is that the new mind means that a totally new perspective on the bad things. Totally new perspective. That old perspective clearly has been shown to not work for us. There are these moments that I call sober moments, the moments where we're okay. But what are we doing to feed and help ourselves and to prevent, to help for when that comes back? We have to take advantage of the sober moments, I like to call them, the moments when I'm okay. The moments when I'm not caught in that rage, not caught in that nervous breakdown, that meltdown. Because in that moment, the things that we learn we need to do, the things that we see are tools for us, we don't reach for them. It's almost reflex to go back to the old patterns or the negative way of responding and thinking. And that's because of habit, what we've been accustomed to, what we've been doing for years and years, how we've been operating all this time. Of course, something else is going to feel a little different. It's going to feel awkward. But those sober moments, you've got to feed yourself. You got to feed yourself with the truth. And the truth is, what is it that I truly know? There's got to be there's got to be a way out of this depression. There's something that I'm missing. We can hear the podcasts, we can hear preachers, we can hear people, friends close to us talk about it's going to be okay. But in those moments, it's too heavy to just know, oh, she said it's going to be okay. And we snap back. It's a root system. Old things, old scars that are affecting us and we not even know it. It's making us respond in ways that we don't realize are destroying our lives, destroying friendships, marriages, destroying business opportunities. And we'll be depressed and can find the fault in everyone else and not hold ourselves accountable for why we're suffering this way. There's an old example I like to use from back when, when you were kids, the boogeyman, right? Everybody knows the boogeyman. And a child's fear with that boogeyman, it was a real fear. And I mean, this wasn't The boogeyman we know as adults doesn't or didn't exist. But to that child, I mean, in their body, hair, standing screaming, uh, not wanting to sleep in the room, nightmares. But the child didn't know and doesn't know that, oh, okay, the boogeyman isn't real. As they get older, it's not that the child feels like, oh, I could take on the boogeyman. I'm bigger now. I think I could beat the boogeyman. No, as they get older, what they do is there's a knowing that comes to them that, oh, wow, the truth is the boogeyman isn't real. The truth, what they truly know is that, oh, I've been screaming and terrified for no reason because of what they know now. Not just they got older and they can take him. Not they're grown and still look around for the boogeyman. I hope none of y'all listening are grown adults still scared of the boogeyman. But when you get older, you just know the truth. And when you know the truth, you don't respond the same. And that's the same way in depression. There's a truth that we've not realized, which has got us depressed, where we can't get out of that funk, where we're feeling negative all the time. There's a knowing that we've got to accept. There's a truth that we have to know so that we can. There's a saying that says, know better, do better, right? You know better, you do better. But I truly don't know how accurate that statement is because there are things that we know better. There are things that we know aren't good for us, but we still go the other way. And so I honestly feel that it's not enough to know better. Because the test and the journey and the growth is when we have to apply these things that we hear and know and we listen to and advice, the tools that we get. It's great that I've got the tools if I needed to hammer a nail into some wood, but it's not enough for me to just have it and know that it's right there. It's not enough. It's not enough that you know you shouldn't be sad and crying all these days. Because there are some people who come and respond and talk to us in those moments. They talk to us like that. Like, come on, man, it's been 2 months. Come on, bro. And I'm not saying those things are bad or that those people are wrong in what they're saying. But what I'm saying is that, hey, at certain points, we're going in these same patterns. We're going the same route. And we're expected, or certain people expect that, hey, you should be better by now. You should be moving differently. And truthfully, when those people do those things and say it, they could be right. But sometimes it doesn't feel good. And that's because we're addicted to the very things that we complain about. We're really addicted to the bad situations we get ourselves in, and that the things we're crying and we're talking and the things that we're just promoting of how bad life is. But we truthfully don't want to let those things go. We truthfully really want to, it's a familiar thing. Even when pain becomes familiar, we gravitate toward it. We say we want out of a relationship, but we stay. The new way of thinking hurts at first, It's uncomfortable. When we're having to look at life differently, it's not going to feel like it's the right thing. When you're trying to get better, physically, you're trying to get your physique together, you go to the gym and you kill it. A lot of the reason that some of us don't go back. I can speak for me. But once you feel the pain the next day after, never working out, and then you go and your trainer works you through it, or you just kill it there, that pain, that being uncomfortable can really be the reason you never go back. I'm serious. It's a big reason why we'll quit, because that pain, what we felt as a reaction to what we needed. I needed that gym work. Muscles needed this. My body needed this burn. But it didn't feel good to me. Y'all know that old saying, everything that is good to you ain't good for you. Or some stuff that's good for you, it ain't gonna be good to you. Sometimes we push the people away that are there, those people that are there to help us. Sometimes God sends people in ways and opportunities to help out of this deep, dark depression, to help out of this rut that we're in. And we push away because it feels different, because it's uncomfortable. And that's the importance of new perspective, y'all. This goes back to knowing. When you understand that being uncomfortable is necessary. You'll see that very thing that don't feel good to you, you'll know, I need that. You'll know that, yeah, I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like how this day went. I didn't feel good when he said that to me. But with that new perspective and being uncomfortable, you understand what's necessary. And so to escape this depression, we're going to have to start, y'all, with installing a new root system. A new root system. And let's start with just self-talk, I'd like to say. Self-talk is the best talk. And I mean, hey, talking to yourself, this is part of that root system. Some things that's got to go deep. One thing you've got to know is that you're okay. A lot of the times we think that we're not okay, but we are. And we may be losing it in our minds. We may be going through it in life, in relationships. We may be having hell go on the job. But the truth of the matter is you are okay. But we don't believe that we are because of what we're feeling internally. We don't believe that we are because of what's going on in our minds. What lies are we telling ourselves? The negative thoughts that come, the feeling it in our body. But we got to start talking to ourselves. You're going to set some things in motion, even when you don't feel that way. Get in that mirror. Hey, you're okay. Getting our bodies used to hearing that said. You're okay. Hey, you are seen. Some of us don't feel seen. We don't feel validated. We don't feel enough. But you are. You got to say that sometimes to yourself. Even if you're in the mirror in the morning, like I said, you can say, you're okay. You are seen. I am loved. Self-talk. Talking to yourself. And even when those things that don't feel good, it's good to talk to yourself even when you feel the negative emotions. Because acknowledging what's going on, seeing what's happening, seeing yourself, you're on the right direction. You're on the right path. There's the steps to being free from depression. You have to know that, hey, I really am. I really am angry. I am upset. And if you are, you can see you're being honest with yourself so that you can see. And that next question needs to be why. Why am I this? And that'll go on and will take you down a rabbit hole maybe, but at the end of the day, it points to showing you where you truly are. So it's good to even see when you're in a bad, hey, I am fuming. You need to know and see that. Some of us don't know when we are so angry, so we black out, as they say. We've got to be uncomfortable. We've got to be comfortable with things not being comfortable to us. Keep that self-talk going. Keep that self-talk going. Talk to yourself. Plant these seeds. Another thing we can do is we have to look at everything that, that happened. We have to find out how it benefited us. We have to see how it served us. And you may think that's crazy. You could think of some really bad situations or scenarios or positions to be in life and say, tell me how that served me. And there's one thing to always remember is that through whatever it is that you went through, there's something that you know now that you didn't know before going through it. Maybe it's clearer perspective on what you want in life, who you want in life. Now you know what you don't want. You know what you do want. Now you see that, hey, I'm reacting to something very petty right now. Hey, I'm throwing a temper tantrum. I'm holding on to something that I need not be. Finding out how it serves you. It's a challenge, and you may be stuck for a while, but I promise you, if you can find out the benefit in that rough thing, that the benefit in that hurtful thing, the benefit in that shameful thing, knowing that everything serves you, you'll be accepting to everything that comes across your plate. And it takes a new perspective. It takes a new way of thinking to even try to see how something served you, to see how something bad is something you benefited from. What we've got to remember is that there's a difference between pain and suffering. Now, I'm not here to say that we won't experience pain in life, because you most certainly will. You most certainly will experience it. But if you're not some great mystic monk, someone that went to the highest of enlightenment to where you're not experiencing pain at all, if that's not you, you have to understand that you're going to experience things in life that you don't like, that don't go the way you planned, that wasn't what you expected, that fell through when you trusted. There are so many endless scenarios we could call out. But all of those things, all of the negative things that happen, it's okay to feel how we feel. But the truth is, how long do we have to feel a way about it happening, even when it's over? And that's where suffering comes in. Pain is present. Something happened that hurt. Wow. That was rough. Wow, that hurt me. Oh, man. This hurts. 2 years later, it's not hurting you. 2 years later, there's a record that you're continuing to play in your mind that is tormenting you. Suffering is that refusal to accept what happened. Suffering is that refusal to redefine what happened, to not see how that bad thing helped you. I'm only giving us ways to come up out of depression. There's more and more that we can go into, but depression is suffering. We can beat depression. You can escape. You can get out of this. It doesn't have to be this way. Even if you feel and see that you don't know why it's happening, you don't know why you're this way. We're going to start with a new root system, talking to ourselves how we need to. We're going to start seeing the good in everything. The good in everything. How it benefited you. How a bad thing helped you, how a bad thing served you. We're going to change our perspectives. We're going to understand that pain comes. We're going to understand that things happen that we don't like. But we can be okay. We don't have to be tormented in our minds. And to anybody out there that's battling and had to battle depression, you can do this. There's a knowing. There's a truth that you have to know that it's just a boogeyman. A trick of the mind that we all deal with, we all experience. But there's hope. I promise you there is. I promise you don't have to do what you're doing. You don't have to believe those lies that you're believing about yourself. You don't even have to believe the lies that you believe of others, of your life. You are okay. You are enough. Life isn't as bad as you say it is. It's not as bad as you think it is. Once you know the truth, you won't be able to go back to a lie. I hope this helps. If you know someone dealing with depression, share it. Let them know you love them. Give them grace. Give them patience and love.